From Caracas, Venezuela, this is From the South, teleSUR English's daily news brief. My name is Reagan Devines. We begin in Mexico, where a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake has struck close to the capital. These pictures show the center of Mexico City minutes after the quake struck just after 1 p.m. local time. A number of large buildings collapsed, many others were damaged. There is still no clear information about casualties. The quake struck just hours after the entire country conducted an earthquake drill to mark the 32nd anniversary of a huge tremor in 1985. We now go to Dominica, where Category 5 Hurricane Maria has caused widespread devastation. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skedder told teleSUR on Monday night that almost every roof on the island had been blown off and the level of damage was still impossible to calculate. He asked for support from friendly nations and organizations with helicopter services to participate in the urgent rescue efforts. Earlier, Prime Minister Skedder himself had to be rescued when the roof of his house was ripped off and his home was flooded. Communications with the island has been scarce and there have been few updates on the situation. Here's a report from Dr. Sam Christian from Point Michel on Monday night.
This is Dr. Sam Christian with a bulletin from Point Michel. The wind is howling outside, screaming, screeching like 100 freight trains circling overhead. The night sky is being lit up like a grand finale of fireworks that will never end. My neighbor's roof is gone. I understand the Prime Minister's roof at Mont Daniel is gone. I've gotten a number of calls for help. People trying to reach police, an ambulance. No one can venture out in this weather. We're just hunkered down.
In Venezuela, Foreign Minister Jorge Arreaza answered the call to help, offering immediate assistance to the island of Dominica in the form of an aid shipment. The emergency shipment contains 18 tons of basic supplies like portable water, mattresses, blankets and non-perishable items. Also, a group of nearly 60 Venezuelan rescue workers are traveling to join the mission in Dominica.
To be here in Venezuela at this time is difficult for me not to be home to assist, but to see our brothers, our sisters from Venezuela with this immediate and very huge response, it demonstrates the solidarity and it demonstrates that in respect to the revolutionary spirit, we all are Venezuela and Venezuela cares deeply about the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. So I think it's my only duty to express sincere thanks to the government of Venezuela and to the many volunteers who are present here today, those who will be going to Dominica to work with us on the ground to help rebuild our country.
On Monday night into Tuesday morning, the island of Guadeloupe was also hammered with Category 5 winds by Hurricane Maria. Roofs were ripped off and trees were toppled on the French island. At least one person has died and 2 others still missing. Hurricane Maria is forecast to remain extremely dangerous as it approaches the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. And in Puerto Rico, the population continues to evacuate, awaiting the approaching hurricane after Governor Procejo declared a state of emergency. It would be the first time for a direct hit by a hurricane on Puerto Rico in 85 years, if Maria stays her current course. Some fluctuations in the intensity of the hurricane are expected in the following days, but the forecasts indicate that by the time it arrives to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, it will continue to be in Category 4 or 5. Chief of the Forecast Center from the Cuban Weather Institute, Dr. Miriam Tereseta Llanes, explains why Maria is such a dangerous weather system.
Its components are all favorable for this hurricane to continue in the next few hours as an intense hurricane, and what's influencing it is the heat in the waters of the Caribbean and Atlantic Oceans. Also in the upper atmosphere, which is the whole anthroposphere, there is also favorable conditions for its development and intensification, and that should be sustained in the coming hours and days as an intense hurricane, precisely because of these conditions in the upper atmosphere.
U.S. President Donald Trump made his debut at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, where he threatened further actions against Venezuela and North Korea. During his speech, Trump lashed out at Venezuela, calling the government a socialist dictatorship. He added that President Nicolas Maduro had destroyed a once wealthy country as, quote, every socialist or communist regime had always done. Trump also spoke strongly against North Korea, warning that the United States may have to destroy the country.
The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea.
On the other hand, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres appealed for statesmanship to avoid war with North Korea.
When tensions rise, so does the chance of miscalculation. Fiery talk can lead to fatal misunderstandings. The solution must be political, and this is a time for statesmanship. We must not sleepwalk our way into war.
Bolivian President Evo Morales denounced U.S. government actions against Venezuela through OAS Secretary General Luis Almagro.
Venezuela tiene su democracia.
Venezuela has its democracy. They've had so many elections, and there's going to be even more elections for the regional authorities. That's what we should support mostly. But to think about a military intervention, a coup, a permanent conspiracy is such a shame for Latin American OAS Secretary, who is being used as an instrument of Trump to damage other countries. Mr. Almagro has lost all authority within the OAS.
Venezuelans marched through the presidential palace on Tuesday in protest against imperialism and U.S. government sanctions against the country. The mobilization is a part of the final events of the international protest called We Are All Venezuela. A worldwide dialogue for peace, sovereignty and democracy was attended by over 190 international delegates. The attendees were expected to meet President Nicolas Maduro. Earlier in the broadcast, we highlighted U.S. President Donald Trump's attack on Venezuela during his speech at the United Nations General Assembly. Trump signaled there would be new measures against the Latin American country after it made a crucial decision to break away from the petrodollar. To learn what this entails, check out our Facebook video entitled Breaking the Chains, Venezuela Dumps the Petrodollar. And for more on these and other stories, please visit our website, telesurtv.net/English, and join us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. For Telesur English, I'm Regan Neves.